Welcome to our beginners class for jewelry making or for beading. In this class, we're going to be talking about findings, which is a collective word for the hardware in beading or in jewelry making. So all the metal bits and everything metal you see in your beaded project or in a beaded bracelet is known as findings collectively, or the hardware in beading. Our first finding that I'm going to be talking about today is the spacers. So there are different types of spacers and they come in different metals, in colors. They come in gold, they come in rose gold, they come in bronze, gunmetal, bent metal, silver, whatever you want to call it. You can find findings to suit whatever project you are doing. So for the use of spacers give your project a unique effect, or it adds some beauty to your project. So let's say I'm putting in an arrangement for a simple bracelet for a little girl, or as a gift to a lady, or as a gift to a friend. This is what the spacer does. So my arrangement will be a spacer, a bead, a spacer, a bead, a spacer, a bead, a spacer. So the spacers comes in between the beads depending on your arrangement, and that's the use of a spacer. And they come in different shapes, in different sizes. They come spherical, they come in a cone, in a square, they come flat. They come in different shapes, in different sizes, and you use them depending on how you want your project to look. So like for this spacer, we can have like that in this arrangement, have a spacer here, do 3 beads and put another spacer here, and do 3 beads and put a spacer. So it depends on you what look you want to achieve, and then you use it accordingly. So these are the spacers, and this is how they are used. The next finding I want to talk about is the jump ring. That is J-U-M-P for jump, and ring, R-I-N-G, jump ring. So the jump ring serves as a connector. So it's a connector between your beaded work and a bead. So this is how a jump ring was used in this case, just so that you see it here. So that is it here. That's a jump ring, the circle thing here. And there's a connector. So it connects this end to that end. You can see it connecting this end to this end. So the jam ring serves as a connector. You can make the jam ring yourselves when you run out, or you can have them bought in the shop as well. I want to talk about how to open and close a jam ring. And the jam ring, let me say, comes in different sizes, in different metal colors. So you can have them in rose gold, in silver, in bronze, in gunmetal, in whatever you want to have them in. You can have jam rings in those colors. So this is how to open a jam ring. And I want this is a bigger one, so I'm going to use my hand to demonstrate it for you to see, and then I'll use the pliers to do it as well. So we never open a jam ring pulling them apart like that. We open a jam ring twisting them to the opposite side. The reason why we do that is anytime you twist a jam ring open, you are always able to bring it back close without altering the shape of the jam ring. So I twisted this open. If I want to close it, I'll just bring it back close, and then it goes back into the original position. Now when I pull it apart to open it like this, it's always difficult to bring it back close without altering the shape of the jam ring. And I'm going to try to do this, and you see that it can never be that perfect when you try to bring it close like that. But anytime you twist it open, you are always able to twist it back close and not alter the shape of your jam ring. So that's the purpose of the jam ring, and how to open it and close it when you need it. This is where your flat nose pliers come in handy. So if you have a jam ring that is quite tiny or small, and then you cannot do it with your hands, just like how I did it, you would have to use 2 flat nose pliers to help you twist them open and close. So this is where You see, I hold them on each side like that. So I hold one ply on this side, the other ply on this side with my opening here, and then I'm going to twist one towards me to open it. And then when I want to close it, I'll twist it back to the original position. And that is how to open and close a jam ring using your flat nose pliers. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the closures. And in front of me, I have the toggle and the bar. And then I have the lobster claw. And then I have, with me here, I have the metallic clasp. So there are a lot of closures, but this is what I have in front of me, and I want to talk about these. So this is a toggle and bar. This is another type of toggle and bar. This is another toggle and bar. And this is another toggle and bar. That is the toggle. That is the bar. That's the toggle. That's the bar. That's the toggle. That's the bar. Usually it's ideal for you to use toggle and bars for bracelets for people in their teens and in their 20s and 30s and 40s and early 50s. The reason is it's a bit fiddly to put on these toggle and bars, and even with this lobster claw. So it's ideal that when you're doing a bracelet for a grown-up person or somebody in their late 50s, late 60s, it's ideal not to use toggle and bars, but rather opt for the metallic clasp. Reason is easier with a metallic clasp than with any of these, because the metallic clasps just come together and then you can pull them apart to open it up. So it's easier to put on and take off than these toggle and bars, even though these comes in various designs and beautiful designs and adds some character to your accessory. If you are doing, depending on who you are doing your bracelets for, you had better go for a clasp. If it's an elderly person, like people in their 60s, in their 70s, or 80s, it's ideal to use a metallic clasp, or use an elastic thread for beading for them if it's a bracelet, so that they can easily put it on and take it off without any hassle, than use a toggle and a bar. Here is an example of a lobster claw that has been used. So that's the lobster claw. That is a lobster claw here in silver, and that is the jam ring as what helps it to close. So you open it up and you close it. I'm sure you may have seen this in a number of beaded accessories or projects you have seen. So that is it for closures. So there's a toggle and bar, lobster claw, that's the lobster claw set, and the metallic clasp. The next thing I want to talk about is our cord end caps. So these cord ends help us to finish off the ends of our cords. So depending on the size of your cord, you pick your cap. You can see that this cap is too big for this cord. So you always pick your cord end according to the size of your cord. This one is quite big, but I can get away with this because it's not that bad. So we get some glue here around this bit, and then we stick it into the cord ends, and then finish it off with a connector, either a jam ring or with an S connector or something, before we put our closures on, and then we can have a beautiful necklace made out of this. So what I want to talk about next are my crimp beads. So my crimp beads are like tiny seed beads, but they come in a metal form, and you can see as I have in my hand that I have it in silver, in bronze or bent metal, gun metal, and in bronze and gold. So I have it in different colors, and you use your cream beads according to the other hardwares you are using. So let's say if I'm using my earring, I'm doing an earring with this kind of metal, then I have to be choosing my cream bead to match my metal, so that everything goes together, you know, matched. So we'll come back to look at how the cream bead is used properly when I'm doing a project in a minute, but let me set it aside and talk about the other hardwares I have in front of me. So This is the end pin, and it's called an end pin because the top bit of it is flattened and it has, like, let's say it has an end. So that's why it's called an end pin, and it's basically used in making earrings or in making connections, and we'll look at how to do that soon. So there's the end pin, and the end pin comes in different metal colors. So this is silver, there is silver, there is rose gold, there is gold, gunmetal, and gunmetal, there's rust, you know, all the colors. You can have your end pins and loop pins from that. So this is a loop pin. The loop pin has a loop at the end, at one end, and then the pin comes on top of it. All of them used in connecting and in making earrings. So we'll come to the use of that in a minute. Sometimes the end pins has a ball, you know, has a ball point at the end instead of a flattened surface at the end. So depending on what you want, really, you can just pick and match your hardwares according to the look you're looking for. We have earring hooks. There are earring hooks. They come in different sizes, different colors, different shapes. You also choose them according to what you want to use them for. This is another earring hook that can also be done. We're going to be doing a project very soon, so you see how to do it. There is this other one that is used for earrings as well, like the stud earrings. So if you want, let's say we want to put a pearl on this stud earring, we just put a glue here and then stick this on top of it like that. We'll get creative in other sessions and we'll do fabric earrings, like studded fabric earrings and other things, for you to see how various ways of doing earrings in a unique way that is very appealing in other projects as we go along. So the last thing I'd like to talk about before I bring this session to a close is this clasp that is also used in multi-stringing for necklaces or bracelets like that. So you have your different strings of beads going round this end like that, joining it on this end, and it is opened by pulling it apart from the top and then bringing it back close together. So we've come to the end of our session for learning about hardwares in jewelry making. I hope you enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to doing some proper projects in our other class sessions. Don't miss out. Subscribe, like, and share if this video was helpful. Many thanks for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye.